What you doing there?
Painting any of the exposed metal that got ground down, just to prevent any rust in the future. Doesn't have to be too pretty, it's all getting covered up anyway. Just want to make sure that we don't have any rust spots anywhere, any weak points in our frame. We're going to be starting our floor installation today. It's about a week after we would have liked to have started it, but it's just bombed down. We live in the tropics, so yeah, rain it's just something that happens, so it's slowed the progress down a little bit. We've got our floorboards here. It's particle board. It's got like kind of a wax coating on it. You can see on these sheets that I haven't prepped. It's tongue and groove, and it is it's 20 mil thick. I've used stuff like this in building. I think a lot of people are concerned about it getting wet, that it'll swell, which I'd imagine it probably would if it got wet. So we're going to prevent it from getting wet by coating it in bitumen. It's a water-based bitumen paint, and we're thinking that should be good for the bottom to waterproof it. We're also going to use it on the edges and on the where the groove is. And I've also got some like spray paint, well not spray paint, what is it? It's like rock guard, it's like a really rubbery spray paint that we're gonna then use to also paint the seams from underneath the bus, just to ensure that no water is gonna get in basically from anywhere. Yeah, you look at the floor that was in there from Mitsubishi, and you know, I see a lot of people doing all sorts of stuff. It's like, hey, look, if that floor was in there for, well, it's a 2008, so 12, 13 years, and that wood was fine, then I think this is pretty much the exact same thing that they've done, so it should be fine. I don't know, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm sure now that I've done this, people will say, oh, that's not what you should use marine ply at $180 a sheet, whereas this stuff's 30 bucks a sheet, and I'm pretty sure it'll work just the same. So your width inside the bus is, well, where the plywood's going to go is just shy of 1800. So these sheets are 1800, so we're going to cut them down to 1790. So it's literally just taking a tiny little bit off the edge. 17. Okay, so we're just trimming down these sheets just a little bit. They're 1800 is the factory length, or well, width, I'm guessing in this point it'd be the width. So we're just going to take a little bit off so they get in there nice and easy. We're also going to paint this edge because it's going to basically lose its waxy waterproofing coating. So we're also going to paint it in that bitumen paint. Yeah, and that's basically that. So let's make our first cut.
What's my job?
Your job is going to be to sand these and paint them while I'm installing them down in the bus.
Ah, I love painting.
You like the painting? Good. That is your job. So that's basically what you're going to do is get your sander. You just hit this button here and it'll turn on. Yeah. by all means. So like once you get the top, get all around the edges too. Except this part. You don't have to do this part. Okay? And I'm gonna go get that last little bit of work correct.
Perfect time.
So now we can start filling them in.
Hey, Birdie, shut up.
Doesn't make any sense.
Down. It has floor, floor. Baby has floor, floor.
Okay.
Look at that. Yeah.
So she's pretty happy we've got a floor now. It's been a huge delay. It just keeps raining. That's the beauty of living in the tropics, though. It rains a bit. Yeah, we're just finishing up the last little bit of the floor here. It's yeah, it is what it is. We're pretty much done, but they were just small little cuts, so there's loads of fresh edges that obviously, you know, I didn't have them waterproofed. So now we've got basically the second coat on now, and then in the morning we can come down, put a third coat. That's what we've done with everything else, is 3 coats. And then yeah, it's literally just installing these last couple of pieces, and yeah, and then they basically just go in these last little spots over here, like this end of the bus. I don't know if you guys can see from back there. And then we've got our cover so we can still access the transmission, gearbox, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so all in all, pretty good. It's taking a while. Thought I'd have this floor done in a lot quicker time. I mean, these last few pieces here basically taking me longer than the rest of the... Alright guys, so today we're just going to take it easy. It's Saturday, so we're not doing too much. We've just finished off the last little bit of the floor there.
Ooh.
And then, so we just need to box around the part where the hammer is there. and box around these wheel wells. And then it's just pretty much going to be sealing everything up. Got a bunch of caulking. Yeah, a bunch of like rock art paint for underneath the bus, anywhere where I can see a screw that penetrated through the frame. We're just going to put some rock art spray paint on it just to, yeah, because obviously you've gone through the metal, and we don't want it to rust, right? So just a little bit of rock art on the screws, just as an extra little preventative. Not so much the screws are okay, it's just where it's made a hole. We don't want any rust getting in there because rust is no good. Rust is cancer on metal, basically. So we get rid of that, cover them up, and we should be all good. So yeah, back to work. Gonna build some boxes, and it's Saturday, so drink some beer and
Cheers.
and have fun. Yeah. So we'll see you in a bit.